Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is now it starts. Now it starts. What's starting? Your future. You're being provided an opportunity to experience something that has a potential to be bomb diggity. Bomb diggity. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I'm about to bag it up. I like the way you work it. No diggity. I'm about to bag it up. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Ayo, 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 ayo. All right, it's just boop, 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 boop. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. Let me just tuck this behind. Whew. Let's get this party started. Right? Let's get this party started quickly. Right? Oh, Queen of Hearts. What's up, boo? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay, Queen of Hearts, you ready? You and I have a date in a little bit. You ready for that? Girl, you better not be stressing out. You better not be stressing out. I'm just saying. Oh, dang it. Dang it. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh, dang it. I made a major flub. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Just breathe. Germanica. What up, boo? Okay. I love it when I see people pop back in after a while. Y'all know that I notice pretty much everybody, right? And thank you for I don't know what they're called, for that sticker or whatever it is. Yeah, no, I notice you guys. I notice everyone. I'm like the ultimate observer, but I tend to play it off like I don't notice anything. I notice everything. I do. It's a truth. It's a truth. So I notice when you guys are, off living your life. And then I also notice when you pop back in and I'm like, what's up, boo? I genuinely feel like extreme happiness. I know you've been super busy, haven't you? You've been super duper busy. That's the feel I get from your energy without, of course, scanning you and invading your space. I observe to a certain extent, you guys. I don't go on people's profiles. I don't stalk people like that. It's ugly. I don't do that. Because let me just drink some of my drink and then we're gonna get started. Okay. All right. Here we go. Now it starts. Let me push my tray aside a little bit. I don't like that in the screen. There we go. There we go. Let's get started. Okay. There's a lot of things that have been kind of messing with your head lately. We're just going to really heavily jump into this, okay? There's a lot of things that have been really messing with your head lately, and it's been causing you to feel as though you've been depleted and that you lack magic. That's a lie. It's okay for you to believe that for now. Um, sometimes we need to believe and experience the opposing polarity of the very thing that we'll be immersed in before we get immersed in it. And that has a lot to do with you being able to understand the full gravity of what your soul is presenting you with, what opportunities, what types of connections, what types of yada da 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 da, you know what I mean. A lot of those, you know what I'm saying? Now, this is something that you haven't really been able to shake or clear. I'm assuming it's been going on for a little bit, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. I think for some of you, um, sorry. I think for some of you, I mean, this cycle might even have been established a year ago, right? My hair looks really ratty. Girl, you're looking like an orphan right now, like Orphan Annie, except she was cute. You're not very cute right now. Tie it back. Tie it back, okay? I'm- I got Orphan Annie aesthetics right now. let me just let me fix myself and feel perky for you. Oh my god. I'm just saying, I'm trying to get settled within my body, okay? Okay. So, as Orphan Emmy was saying, whatever this is that you've been going through, it's about to end. Look, death card. And this is not about the death of a person. Don't say that. I was going to say something. I was going to say something that's wildly inappropriate, girl. Not everyone has your macabre sense of humor. Your humor's a little twisted and dark at times. Don't say that. But the death card means the end of something, right? So, whatever this is, it's going to be ending. Whatever this is, this like cycle of stagnation, this rut that you kind of have been in for some time now, it's about to go by the wayside. Okay. Now, the rebirth. This is the part where you begin to recognize different aspects of yourself and you start to enter into a different form of existence. I think that's the best way to put it. A different form of existence, meaning um, you're going to be more of who you are. You're going to slough off the layer, the exoskeleton that you've been wearing, this like armor that's really been preventing your growth. You're going to slough that off and you're going to be perfectly fine. Okay. So, autumn is when all of this is slated to happen for those that this reading is going to resonate with. I'm being told to kind of give you the analogy because things might not be very clear right now, right? You might be seeing life in a very hazy manner. When you look at critters that have to shed their skin in order to grow, because that's why they shed their skin. It's a growth cycle. Whenever a snake or a lizard gets a little bit bigger, they need to shed their skin so that way they can continue their growth cycle. And I don't know if you've ever seen a reptile or snake go through that. Their eyes will haze over. That's the old skin being sloughed off, and it impairs their vision a little bit, just for a little bit. And that's kind of what's happening to you. You have this haze over your perception, and it's causing you to see things in a mildly distorted manner. Don't worry, this is just part of the process. Okay, you're not actually losing yourself. You're not actually um falling behind, messing up, failing, or whatever other ugly things you might be telling yourself. Just let that go. Let that go for a moment and allow yourself to observe life, to observe the process that you are in. So, intention. You have to set the intention of what you're trying to accomplish during this period. What is your intention right now? Is it to fix things? Okay, that's a start of figuring out what you want your intentions to be, but that's not a good intention. And I tell you why. Um to set the intention of fixing things, that's kind of taking ownership of this thought, this assumption that everything is messed up and that it's all your fault and, you're the root problem and blah, 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 whatever else you're telling yourself. I don't know that that's helpful because typically what ends up happening if you begin down that path of thought, that line of thinking, it's a very slippery slope, and then you'll suddenly find yourself fixating on how you are not enough, how nothing good ever happens for you, and this is all there is, and all that ugly stuff. Okay, so you want to try and avoid that by setting a more balanced intention. And what would a more balanced intention be? um I would like to witness my growth in the most compassionate way possible. And typically, as we grow, our perception of ourselves changes and we begin to understand why we had to go through the things we go through. So, setting the intention of, welcoming this growth and seeing yourself through the lens of compassion, that really sets the stage of you being able to um, not play the blame game with yourself. It's more of you being able to recognize everything you're going through right now. It's leading to a moment of clarification. It's leading to that moment where you begin to understand all of this stuff has been happening for me, not to me. I am not a victim of my circumstance. I'm not merely a byproduct. I'm consciously co creating the types of situations that will cultivate an understanding that's appropriate for the level of rise that I'm about to experience. Right? So, alchemist, you can change things or you can gild it and pretend that it's better, pretend that it's different. There's this term. There is this term that, or this concept that was used um, amongst all the amateur photographers when I was all up in that community. And it was this thing of uh, a polished turd, right? Um, the concept of a polished turd is that you can take a really shitty picture, hence the word turd. You can take a shitty picture and you could edit it all you want, and it's probably still going to be a shitty picture because you can only do so much, right? You can only do so much. Now, if you're going to go ahead and mask all these different things and basically cut out and put in and use all these different features in Photoshop, it's no longer the same picture. It's something else. You're just using a component of it and creating a whole new work. But if you're going to think that you can make these adjustments to the coloring, the exposure, possibly reframe the picture, putting the center somewhere else. It's still a turd. It's still a turd. You can even gild it if you want, dip it in gold, make it all fancy schmancy. It's still a turd. What you're needing to do right now is actually create the alchemical change within your perception. And as you do that, that is the root of how you completely change your life. by simply altering your perception 1 degree at a time. The goal is not to change who you are. The goal is not to become more like someone else. The goal is to deconstruct all of these perceptions that have caused you to play a character that is not strong enough, that is not aligned enough to enter into the next phase of your life. So, what are you going to do about this? Are you going to allow yourself to continue pretending that you're setting these intentions that really are rooted in what? Gaining validation from other people, like you want to achieve this and this, and once other people validate you, then you'll matter. I don't know about that. I I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. You know, I think as long as you continue to see yourself as someone who is much smaller and less than what you actually are, you're going to continue to only allow yourself to achieve smaller and less than what you're capable of achieving, right? I think if we switch our perception to something more along the lines of pushing and working and working and pushing yourself, pushing yourself, pushing yourself, with compassion still being the filter used, um, I think as you begin to achieve the type of momentum, the type of progression that can be witnessed in a tangible way by others, uh, you'll then be able to allow other people to validate you, right? But I mean, how often is it that people will notice this? How often is it that you're capable of noticing the changes? Your future is already here. The future is really nothing but the next moment and the next moment and the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. And we have a tendency to think so far into the future that we lose track of the right now and the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. And that's how you trip yourself up with this fear of how will I do it? I know within myself, beyond a shadow of any doubt I could possibly create for myself, that I have a path that takes me to places that most people will not be able to reach. How will I do that? I don't fucking know. I just know that in every moment, there are decisions to be made, there are options to be chosen. And based on that, whatever I choose right now, that's what's going to determine the next step. And the next step is what's going to determine the next step and the next step and the next step. And then eventually I'm going to reach a point where it's like, I look back at my life and I see, whoa, here I was thinking I was just doing the next step and the next step. But in reality, every step was bringing me closer to that apex, to the top of the mountain, right? To the top of the mountain. By summer, you'll have made enough progression through your journey that you'll begin to realize, holy crap, I'm actually doing it. I'm actually doing it. And I'm not too sure yet what I'm doing, but I'm actually doing it. It's okay for you to not recognize the type of progress you're making between now and then. It would be advisable, and you are encouraged to try and see the ways you're slowly progressing. But if you're not able to see it, that's okay. If other people are not able to validate you between now and then, that's okay. It's still okay. You're just in a process. You're doing what you need to do. And, it's okay. Um, So, air, imagination in reverse. You're not imagining the grand journey that you're destined to travel. You're not imagining that. People will try and convince you, right? There's so many pessimistic and just I don't know, it's ugly. It's ugly. There are so many people who cannot believe in themselves, and because they cannot believe in themselves, they will not allow themselves to believe in you. Who cares? I genuinely mean that. Who cares? That's their issue to resolve. It has nothing to do with you. Don't let that get brought into your space. Okay? Who cares about that? You just keep trucking along. Keep doing it. Keep going, keep going, keep going. So invocation. Some way, somehow, you are invoking, you are initiating, you are calling to you the types of events, the types of connections that are necessary. Do you guys feel that? Do you feel something right now? Do you feel it's almost like it's not yet fully tangible for me and my senses, but it's this sense of something profound is headed this way. And whatever this event is, it feels like it could be accurately described as cataclysmic, but we don't end there. We don't just say, "Oh, it's cataclysmic." No. It's cataclysmic for my fear, for my self-doubt, for the ways in which I limit and prevent my own expansion, my own accomplishments, my own achievements, my own perception, accurate perception of who I am, what I am here to do. It's like catastrophic for that. But in all other aspects of my life, this is ooh, it's like this moment where everything will begin to make sense. Hold on. Hold the phone. Define cataclysmic. Relating to or denoting a violent natural event used to emphasize the extent of something bad or unwelcome. Okay. A cataclysm is an event that causes great change or harm, a collapse, an upheaval. Mm. Ooh, the potentiality of it. The potentiality of it. Collapse and upheaval. Define upheaval. Feels important. Violent or sudden change or disruption to something. A sudden change to your perception. A disruption of your own cycles of self sabotage. An upward displacement of a part of the Earth's crust, that outer shell, right? An upward displacement, displacing your fear as you're pulled up. An upheaval is a big change which causes a lot of trouble, confusion, and worry. Okay. Revolution, disturbance. Hmm. Emotional upheaval, a difficult and overwhelming experience, and can be caused by a variety of factors such as a significant life change, life event, relationship issues, or personal challenges. During a period of emotional upheaval, it's common to feel a range of intense emotions such as anger, sadness, fear, or anxiety. The swinging of the pendulum has begun. Um, when an emotional upheaval occurs, that movement then creates a potentiality for the full swing of things to happen. It's the building of the momentum. As far back as you are pulled into that density of emotions, you will be launched that far forward in the opposing polarity. And one of the ways, because I've been through quite a bit of upheaval in life, and one of the ways that I've come to terms rather readily with upheavals is that I've recognized patterns. I'm so good at patterns. I'm so good at pattern recognition, pattern, just observations of patterns that allows me to track the potential trajectory, future events, just by observing patterns, right? That's one of the things as a child when I used to get tested for um, all sorts of like standardized tests and stuff, I would always excel in that. And it's this thing of I noticed life, the way it unfolds as I'm pulled into a space of struggle, hopelessness, helplessness, and all of these other dense, very, very dense and perceived negativities of life. What ends up happening is I'm launched that far forward in the opposing direction. It's like a preparatory phase or stage. It prepares me to develop the depth of understanding of what I'm about to be gifted with, what I'm about to be blessed with. And it becomes something so profound, so profound. And the longer you stay within that negativity, right? The negative polarity of whatever it is you're about to experience, the opposite of, um, it really helps to round out your understanding of it. It really helps to round out your understanding of it. It helps you to see the ways in which your own chosen behaviors, your own chosen causations are leading to the very effects that give you the perception of struggle, that life is unfair. And usually, when you go into that state, you are in a position of incubation. You want to protect yourself, you want to um, minimize the amount of pain that you are perceiving yourself to be experiencing. So you go into your shell, you withdraw. And the further you withdraw, the more energy you load within your electrotonal units. That is the vibration. Vibration is internally held energy. And you can only hold things internally for so long before it is allowed to be catapulted. Okay. Let's see. You're going to be catapulted forward for those who are ready. And if you're not ready, um, do you, Marlene says, don't bite your tongue now. They're so accustomed to you just speaking the truth openly. Okay. If you're not ready, you better hurry the hell up and get ready because you're about to miss a massive opportunity. This type of opportunity only comes once every, I don't know, 50, 60 years. If you miss this opportunity for yourself, there's a very high likelihood you will not be able to make up the time, the deficits that will continue to compound as you wait for the next potential opening. So it becomes a thing of it's important to set that intention and to understand the gravity of what it is you're intending. Now, let me better explain this in a more tangible manner. The world is greatly changing in a very accelerated way. Very accelerated way. So if you look at our history, that's more than 60 years ago. It's like 100 years ago. The Great Depression. There were some who were willing to take that chance, who were willing to exude a level of courage and bravery despite all of this upheaval that the world was experiencing. The world experiences these things in cycles, right? And so we're now in another state of upheaval. What happened to the people who were able to find the courage to make bold decisions during a time of so much uncertainty? They eventually became the top 1% of the world. It was because of that. It was because of that. We're approaching that event again. And as you can tell, the world didn't end after the Great Depression. Yeah, there was World War. There were two of them. A lot of really messed up stuff happened. The world didn't end. Humanity didn't cease to exist. It's the same thing here. People are trying to convince you, like, oh my God, if this happens, we're all gonna, we're all gonna need to calm down. How many videos did you see that September 23rd, really fucked up stuff's gonna happen to all of us? We should all be scared. We all need to, and no, calm the fuck down. For real. Calm the fuck down. Nothing's gonna happen. It's consciousness. Consciousness coming in, it's agitating people. It's agitating people because quite possibly for the first time in your life, you're becoming painfully aware of the true state of the world, right? Of course you'll be agitated. I mean, your eyes are being open to what's happening, what we've been allowing to happen, what we've been giving passive permission to continue to occur right in front of us, right? Of course you're going to feel agitated. Of course you're going to feel very just, what the hell is happening, right? Oh, there's another event, October 4th. That's coming too. If you're really worried about a signal being broadcast, get a Faraday cage. Wrap your fucking device in foil. Get a Faraday cage. It's like $15, $20 on Amazon. Or make one yourself. Buy the fabric. Fucking cage your all your electronics. It's doable. It's doable. If you're really, truly worried, it's doable. But will the world cease to exist? No. It's going to continue just like it has. Let's be real here. All the sociopaths of the world, the ones with tremendous power and tremendous control, tremendous influence over the course of the human history that we've been allowed to be aware of, because there's so much more that we're not allowed to be aware of. Let's be real here. They need us. Those fuckers, they need us. Stop worrying. Seriously. Stop worrying. Use all that energy that you're generating to worry. Use that instead intentionally. On what, Emmy? On fucking displacing those sick fucks. Allow yourself to become so successful that you breach the inner sanctum of the 1%. Become one of them, but not. Enter into their spaces and make them so fucking uncomfortable that they tiptoe around you. Robin Hood that shit. You think I'm worried? No. Once I reach a certain level, that's why they shadow ban me. That's the exact reason why they shadow ban me. Because I have every fucking intention to be a sexy ass female Robin Hood. Yeah. I have every fucking intention. Every intention. I have no desire to be ridiculously wealthy. None. I'm perfectly happy primitive camping. Not even joking. I'm perfectly happy boondocking. So that energy I would have wasted worrying, no. I'm going to harvest that and use it intentionally. I'm going to continue to build opportunities for myself, because even if I have to claw my way up a fucking mountain, I'm making it to the top. And once I'm at the top, I'm going to share everything that I've acquired along the way. Everything. Why? Because I don't give a shit about being at the top by myself. And because I've developed enough of an awareness of the process we're actually in as people, I've lost my fear. Every year, my accomplishments will compound. Every year, I will achieve more and more and more, because I won't stop ever. I will not stop ever. Ever. No one can make me stop. Nobody can make me stop. But what? Find another way. Find another way. So currently, both my shoulders are injured. It's okay, bitches. I've asked a lot from you. You've developed some nice little caps It's okay, bitches. You're going to be okay. But yeah, no, I'm not going to stop going to the gym. But what if you injure yourself? Yeah, I'm going to listen to my body. I'm not going to do movements that feel like it's further increasing the injury. That doesn't mean I stop. That doesn't mean I give up. That doesn't mean I allow myself to be halted in my progression. But no, there's no buts. I have specific objectives that I'm trying to accomplish. I have until next year to get in the best shape I've ever been in my entire life. I'm competing. I don't give a shit. I am competing. And I'm not competing with other women on a stage. I'm competing with a fear that I have of people seeing me naked in my truth. I've never worn a bikini in my entire life. Never. Never. I'm actually fairly averse to having my skin exposed. It's a sensory thing. And I'm going to be scantily clad. That makes me cringe, but it's going to happen because that's significant for the way I see myself. That's very indicative of the ways in which I still am refusing to accept myself when I have no areas to hide. This is a period where all of your insecurities they're popping up. They're absolutely popping up. Not just insecurities that you've been dealing with in the present time, insecurities that have also existed way back in the past. Way, way, way back in the past. Insecurities from childhood, young adulthood, all of that. So, what do we need to do? We need to be right here in the now. We need to accept that we have the security we need, right? But yeah, we're not comfortable. Not being comfortable and not being secure are two different things. They are two different things. We will not be allowed to be comfortable by soul because we've already shown soul. And this is a specific message for certain people. Not everyone's going to resonate with this. We've already shown soul repeatedly what happens when we become comfortable. We stagnate. We refuse to grow. We refuse to progress because what? It's enough. Even if it's enough, is it what is destined for you? I mean, is that all there is? And it's not about acquiring tangible goods. It's not about amassing material wealth. It's about allowing yourself to witness you actively working towards achieving your greatest potentiality you possibly could achieve in this life. It's about that. It's about you being deserving of being able to meet yourself where you are destined to be. It's about that. Mm. There are still words left unspoken by my lips. And as I develop the courage and the maturity to speak wholeheartedly, profoundly, in front of those who do and do not have the capacity to understand what it is I'm sharing and the gravity of it, I deserve to hear the words I still am too fearful to say. And whatever I need to go through in life to reach the level of maturity that I need to reach the level of courage that I need to speak the words that will change perceptions, that will change societies, that will change my view of myself. I need to go through the process to do that. I don't know what the process is. And maybe we don't need to know in advance, because if you're anything like me, if I know in advance, I will fight that shit. I will go out of my way to negate that. because the rebellion I have within me is so fixated on fighting the very process that liberates me. And I know quite a few of you can absolutely relate to that. It's that fear of not knowing where you're headed, that fear of not knowing what happens after you succeed. What if you just continue to exist the way you've been existing after you succeed? What if that's all that happens? At one point in my life, many years ago, what I'm doing right now and find very mundane, my day to day mundane life, um, these were things that I could only dream of one day. One day. And here I am living the dreams I had how many years back, dreaming of new dreams that I will live how many years forward, failing to recognize this is the eventuality of my life. These are not dreams that I have for future events. This is soul reminding me the trajectory of my life. The dreams you have, that's your soul letting you know this is what you're destined to live through. This is what you're supposed to achieve. This is how you're supposed to live. This is the level of comfort that you're supposed to have. Keep going because you're actively in the process of making this happen for yourself. But we think that they're just dreams, right? They're pipe dreams. They're pipe dreams. Yeah, if it's a pipe dream, fucking smoke it, bitch. Light that up and smoke it. Inhale it. Inhale the light of your truth. Inhale it. Breathe that shit in. Analogies, not literally. Not literally. I don't take prescriptions. I don't even take over the counter meds, okay? I do take a whole lot of supplements though. We were in a natural store and I was just telling the worker, like, I love your store. You just have such an expansive selection of supplements. And my husband's like, she really likes supplements. And the worker's like, oh, that's good. And I totally was like, we're going to live forever. With the amount of supplements I take, we're going to live forever. That sucks. There was a video that I saw earlier, and it was this Japanese man, and he's talking about this Japanese belief that um, the ideal way to cross over into the next life is in your sleep at home, right? To go peacefully like that. And it was this thing of him saying, like, some people pass very quickly, and that means, they're not at home, they're not asleep, they pass very, very quickly, they transition quickly and abruptly, unexpectedly. And it is an ancient Japanese belief that the people who pass in this way, you're not supposed to feel sad for them. The reason they passed in that way and so quickly is because they're important in the next life and they were needed already. Oh, that was beautiful. That they were needed in the next life. That's why they passed so quickly. And then I suddenly heard, so I was reminded of that video by Michael just now. And Marlene talks about this thing of my awareness that my longevity in this life will be unnatural. That I will defy the aging process and I will live an unnaturally long life. She says I'm irritating her because why do I struggle through this as much as I do? She pointed out, because I wasn't even thinking about this when I watched the video. She pointed out that I'm destined to live an unnaturally long life because I'm very much needed in this one. By people I don't even know exist yet. And then she asked me why I'm tearing up. Well, 2 reasons. The first one is because obviously I struggled so much to comprehend my own gravity, right? Because I see myself as just a normal person. And then secondly, my awareness of my struggle with that holds hands with my awareness that however long it takes me to come to terms with that is however long people have to wait for me to help them. And I'm not allowed to leave until I've helped every single one that I promised to help on a soul level. And what hurts the most about that awareness is my natural ability to quantify how many people that would mean. I'm here to extract people from extreme states of suffering. Berlin says, my affliction is living with a beautiful heart. Affliction or not, people are suffering. I need to get through my process as efficiently as possible to minimize the length of wait for those who are suffering the most. And if some would be willing to suffer to give me the time, then I should be willing to allow myself to enter into spaces of extreme discomfort to hasten the process itself. And it's hard.
It's hard to exist in a way where when people try and validate you, the gravity of you, the gravity of your effect, that you have to contend with the thought of, oh, you're so sweet. I'm sure you compliment everyone. You can't possibly genuinely mean everything you're saying to me. And it's this thing of, if we just allow ourselves to be in the process, to not fight it, but also not rush it, and not allow our fear and our guilt and any other. Michael says to stop looking away. If we allow ourselves to fully be in the process that we are in and not rush, not delay, but not rush, just be fully in flow, then you won't have the time to distort your perception of the process you're in. You won't have the time or the luxury to make things seem much worse than what they actually are. Things are going to intensify for everyone. We will still continue to exist as a species, but things are going to intensify quite a bit. The beautiful thing is, what you need is already with you. It's already with you. The game plan, the tools, the knowledge, the wisdom, it's already with you. The parts of you that you reject, those are the parts of you that are rising to the surface in order to be integrated into your field of awareness, because those are the parts of you that you need. Those are the parts of you that you need. Every journey starts with a single step. Your journey has begun. The first step was this recognition of what you've been through, how hard it's been. You didn't imagine any of that. You didn't explain it as though it was worse than what it actually was to yourself. No, you lived through it. You were there. You saw it with your own eyes, heard it with your own ears, felt it with your own heart. You didn't imagine what you went through. You went through things so profound that till now you struggle to comprehend why it had to be so hard, why it had to hurt so much. You didn't imagine that. The gravity of what you go through is contingent on the gravity of what you need to learn. The greater the pain, the deeper the learning. And again, when you remove the L from that, when you remove the sense, the perception of loss from that, you then enter into a space of actively earning your proper place within your destined path. Right? Four years ago, my mother passed away. And in that process of coming to terms with everything, as I was planning her services, and shortly after all of that was done, when I removed the L, the sense of the loss, and entered into a space of earning, I began to realize a lot of the different things that I was being gifted by way of pain, the pain of losing my mother, right? And it was this thing that first began with a sense of bitterness. I was upset. because I felt wholeheartedly she could still be here. I could have kept her healthy and alive. Had she just work with me, stop fighting me. Had she not chosen to leave me. We were working on getting her walking. We worked so hard so that she could sit upright. So much pain was involved in that process of reconditioning her body to be able to experience close to full range of motion again. We were working on regenerating the nerves in her leg so she could regain use of it and walk with a cane. And I remember a conversation that I was having, and it hit me, the realization hit me. We were supposed to travel together. That was a goal. That was why we wanted to get her to walk. That was why we were trying to reestablish full range of motion in her joints, specifically her hips and her knees, so she could sit in an airplane. We never got to do that. And during that conversation, it hit me. She never intended to do that with me. Why? She intended for me to do that for myself. That in energetic terms, she gave up her ability to walk, to even stand. So that she could gift me her daughter, a living expression of all the potentialities that she gave up. So that I could stand bravely in front of others. So that I could experience all the things that she didn't have the courage to choose for herself in life. That's a tremendous gift to give to your child without explaining the gift that you're leaving. Witnessing that process, bearing witness to the pain. I will never allow that to be part of my potentiality. Never will I allow that to be part of my potentiality. And should anything ever happen beyond my control that would leave me bedridden, I would fight with everything inside me to regain what my mother gifted me. The ability to stand strong, to walk forward, to travel through different landscapes I've never experienced. The things that you experience in your life, they're gifting you with opportunities, realizations that maybe you don't want to explore, maybe you don't even want to acknowledge. But if you find the courage to do so, the kind of personal power that you tap into, the ways in which you alter the perception and the path, is a very powerful thing. It is a very, very, very powerful thing. During that period, I was gifted the opportunity to look back, and I saw how she never spoke up for herself. And how, in her own ways, understanding my rebelliousness, it was through her opposition to my natural characteristics that she cultivated, encouraged the development of me having one hell of a mouth on me. One hell of a mouth. Whatever she couldn't say, I'll fucking say it. And I will not back down. I will not back down. Every time I witnessed her back down is going to be 10 times I will refuse to, in the present and in the future. All of this because I realized I am a living expression of her inner child. I am a living expression of all the potentialities she thought she had to give up to play the role society told her she had to play. How many times have you played the role society told you to play, only for it to not end up with you being rewarded, accepted, embraced, loved? I think the problem is not that you're playing the wrong game. It's the fact that you're allowing others to convince you to play when you are here to do some serious work on yourself and work on the world, right? Softly, softly, the tender touch. Now is not the time for you to use my words and what I'm sharing as a justification to attack yourself, to cause you to believe that, again, you are the problem, that you are nothing more than a fool or even a sacred fool. Play the fool for no one. Speak openly and courageously to the people you need to speak to about the things you need to get off of your chest, about the loads you carry on your shoulders. And maybe if you do that enough, you'll begin to understand the gravity of your power and the way to responsibly wield it. Right? Marlene just said, she would have given anything to be my mother at some point too. That it would have been the greatest honor to know that she had some part in cultivating, encouraging, and empowering the woman that I am. And then she told me to flip over one of the other cards, and she says, "This is what I would have done for you if you had ever given me the chance to." That she would have defended me to the end because I'm worthwhile. I think for many of us, we don't realize how much it's affected us that we've had to be so strong for so long, right? And that this external show of strength, your stoic nature, it's depleted you for so long. And the most healing thing that you could do is to just really allow yourself to be loved in as gentle a manner as possible, to put the shields down and allow the softness to bubble from this core of you. The core of your truth is filled with a softness and a grace that has the capacity to fill all the voids that exist inside you. It has the capacity to make you feel so full. What do you feel? Do you feel like you're not worth it? Do you feel like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful? Emmy, you deserve all of that. You deserve to be loved in that way, but failing to realize that I'm sharing this with you and you are witnessing this unfolding, these realizations and conversations unfolding in front of you in real time because it applies to you too. Because you deserve that too. Because I am nothing more than a externalized reflection of an internal circumstance that you are struggling to keep ignoring and denying. New birth guarded vigilantly, allowing yourself to be careful with the way you allow other people's words to affect you as you reach higher levels of awareness of yourself. You begin to understand that you've been refusing to bring it into form. You begin to understand that you've been refusing to create conscious connections with others. You begin to develop an awareness that you are ready, but still waiting. Waiting for what? Someone to give you permission to be who you've always been? I'm sorry. I'm having conversations with Marlene. The implications of the things she's saying. I won't necessarily reject it, but it has to remain within the parameters of what is appropriate and be allowed to exist only in time frames that are considerate of my own process. And she says to me that she knows in her heart one day I really will be her daughter. Specialization. Allowing yourself to recognize the ways in which your life is being used, your experiences are being used to help cultivate what you will be specializing in. We're all here to achieve something different. We're all here to fulfill a specific role, right? Fragments. We are fragments of each other, and in that, there's a beauty and an evolved level of potentiality. Because when you become fragmented, it's like taking glass and shattering it and shining the light of truth through that prism. And it becomes this beautiful kaleidoscope of bent light. When you bend light, it goes from white light to the full spectrum of rainbows. That your life is meant to be colorful so that you could see this greater totality of learning in broken down, bite-sized pieces of lessons. That's what the lessons are. They're bite-sized pieces of the things you need to learn. And this need to understand there is beauty in the process of acquiring the knowledge that is necessary to gain a deeper, more profound, much more elevated understanding of the gravity of you as a totality. That the fragments of you are dependable and will find their way back home, right? The fragments of you are dependable and will find their way back home, whether these are aspects of yourself or people whose aspects of you live within them, right? They are reflections because that part of you, that lesson resides inside that living person's heart. You need to see the patterns of what's happening in your life. These patterns, although they will not give you clarity at first, although they will not allow you to instantly create alchemical change, what will happen is they will bring to light the ways in which your perception of self-worth is upside down, how you lack balance currently. And the most powerful thing you can do in the midst of this awareness, developing awareness, is to allow for a level of patience to occur, to be felt by you. You need to be patient about your process. You're in the middle of living a chapter and writing a new one all at the same time. And that's for every single person. You are in the middle of living a chapter of your life and writing a new chapter all at the same time. Be patient with yourself. Stop letting go the parts of you that need to be with you, the parts of you that you need to allow to be your voice, to protect you, to be your guardian, to be your guide. How many of us reject our intuition? We reject the fact that we understand, we have an advanced knowledge of someone else's malignant intentions towards us, and we ignore it and we allow them to continue to have access to us because why? Because we don't want to be mean. Be fucking mean to the right person. Because when you reject those parts of you, especially your intuition, whew, you're being mean to yourself. There's nothing nice about it. In exchange to be fake nice to someone else who wants to hurt you, you are instead being mean to yourself. No, no more. You need to be still and you need to allow your fear to be less than your level of courage. And that's that. That's that. I've got to go. I've got a session starting. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell, join me when I'm live. If you haven't already, go look for me across all social media. I'm Emmy Evolving across the board. I'm also on TikTok. I go live there. I don't have a schedule. I go live there though. So go follow me over there. Find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook. And of course, always come around here on YouTube. I got to get going. If you resonated with anything I said, embrace that. Take that in. The message was for you. The message was for you. And it's maybe time for me to say, for many of you, you go through this thing of you feel like I'm talking directly to you in all of the live streams, right? And you need to tell yourself, I'm just crazy. It's crazy. I know you're not talking to me, but it feels like it. And I just tell myself I'm being crazy. No, you're not. I'm talking to you. You can feel it when I'm talking to you. So stop trying to explain it away and pretend like I'm not. I'm talking to you. This message is for you. Do with it what you need to. And then I'll see you again for the next one. I love you guys. I'll see you again very soon. Bye, everyone. Queenie, I'm going to be a minute late. I need to go tinkle.